Hello and happy Information Day for the March B7 releases. We have 6 standard ones this month in total. I guess there's also a new Rhino and Raw Hammer too, but for the regular stuff, we've got 1 from Deviate, 1 from Ebonite, 2 from Hammer, and 2 from Radical releasing on March 20th. Once again, I'm only reviewing Brunswick track and hammer balls this year, so we'll just have 2 reviews this cycle, but we will of course talk about them all here, and there will be plenty of review videos out there for all of them. Starting at the top with the Deviate Dark Side, there are a few balls I've definitely regretted missing this year, and this is going to be one of them. Again, unfortunately, I was just way too busy last year and struggled worse than the Chiefs' offensive line in the Super Bowl to keep up with things, so I had to lighten the load a little bit for 2025, and I knew that there were going to be a few like this. The new Symmetric Duality core is another core built with more layout options for two-handers in mind, or more layout flexibility, while still not leaving the one-handers in the dark. Not to be mistaken with the Dualistic core in the Troublemaker series, they have similar shapes but different numbers. While the RG for the dark side is still low at 248, the differential is quite a bit lower at 036 in 15 pounds, putting it in IQ Tour AI, Scorpion Low Flare, and Venom Shock territory. The cover formula is Insider Hybrid, another non-HK22 ball, and as far as I can tell, this is the first ball that they've just used Insider Hybrid on. There's always been some other version along with it, or it's been paired with HK, but the Insider formula in general is a medium strength cover. It's on the Troublemakers, Chills, and Mantra in different iterations, but it's a cleaner and sharper cover in general. Next up, Ebonite has the GB5 Pearl releasing in March, and this one is pretty easy math. It's just a Pearl GB5, but with the addition of HK22. We all know the enhanced V2 core at a 248 RG and an 048 differential in 15 pounds. Fairly typical strong symmetric core that creates a really round, rolly, and continuous motion on the lanes. The GB5 was just GB 12.7 solid for the cover. The Pearl still uses GB 12.7, but in combination with HK22 for a cleaner and sharper, or just overall more dynamic reaction. I think we can all guess what this ball is going to look or act like. It's also a sharp looking ball. I like the colors, and they're darker, which should be great for tournament bowlers that don't like to see a lot of bright, flashy, swirly colors. The Game Breaker series has always been great on tougher conditions as a benchmark to stronger symmetric line of balls, and this one should be great as a cleaner and sharper option down from the GB5 when it gets too early or smooth. It should also complement Track's new stealth mode really well too. The 2 balls from Radical are really interesting. First of all, they share the same core but have wildly different covers. The new Torpedo asymmetric core has a 248 RG, 054 differential, and an 017 int diff in 15 pounds, so pretty stock standard asym numbers comparatively. The 14 through 16 pound numbers are all also extremely similar, so 14 or 16 pound users should get a really representative look out of reviews since most reviewers use 15 pounds as far as I know. HK22 Cohesion Plus Pearl is the cover, so it's a big, strong, dynamic cover. HK22C has been used a lot over the last year, and it's been impressive on everything, so I'd expect more of the same here. The Torpedo Direct Hit is the interesting one because they say that, like the Spy, this one benefits from a bigger core, but the new low-friction cover puts it in play on very dry lanes or even as a spare ball, plus lower speeds can take advantage of an asymmetric core without having it roll forward or hit flat. Both balls look pretty cool, but the Direct Hit has that old-school, kind of shiny Rhino Pro Teal look to it that I really dig, and being a lefty, I'm interested in it as a potential urethane complement or for a straighter look on higher friction lanes when there are angle issues. The Torpedo, of course, will be in Hammer Effect, Vaporize, or Black Widow Mania territory, so just because the Direct Hit is the more unique / interesting ball, the regular Torpedo is going to be your strong, angular, dynamic asym that's realistically going to be a more regular use ball, while the Direct Hit will be more niche. Now onto the balls I'll have reviews for. First we'll talk about the Hammerhead. It's funny how often they've done this recently with the ball names, the Hammer Effect, the Radical Conspiracy, so on and so forth. The Hammerhead is another strong symmetric ball a la the GB5, Stealth Mode, etc. This one uses the spheroid core from balls like the Badass and Bad Intentions going all the way back, the Rodmans more recently in the regular webs as well, so lots of history with the core. Same numbers as the core from the GB5 actually, 248 RG, 048 differential, so your stronger symmetric core that's also very round, rolly, and continuous. No HK for this one either, and this one also gets a cover you'll be familiar with. It's Aggression Solid from the Black Widow 2.0, and this combination is obviously a winner. Aside from just the three-tone blue color, this one reminds me a ton of the Axiom. Strong ball, rounder, and pretty continuous. Stronger sensor solid as well. Also has above average punch or shape-down lanes, so while it's also in optimum idle territory, I think that it's sharper than the optimum. It's also obviously in GB5 and stealth mode territory too. I think it's similar strength to both. It's faster than the GB5, but smoother than the stealth mode. And I've thrown the stealth mode a lot already, really loving that one, and I'll cover this comparison in the review, so let's move on to the ball that you all knew that I was saving for last. That would be the hammer special effect, and while it's simply a solid hammer effect on paper, we've got to talk. I greatly disliked the effect, which was extra disappointing because of how successful and popular it's been for so many other people. With my slower to medium speed and getting more up the back of the ball, the very strong, dynamic, and more forward reaction of the effect was just a very poor matchup for my game, unfortunately, so I went into this one with extremely low expectations. Asymmetric Huntsman Core is a 247RG 050 differential and an 017 int diff in 15 pounds, so like with the Torpedo, very stock or standard asymmetric numbers, and it's got HK22 cohesion solid, but here's where it gets weird. The special effect comes shiny, and I see very little to no similarity to the effect whatsoever, which could go a ton of different ways. For me, the special is several feet cleaner than the effect, a couple boards weaker, definitely smoother on the back end, and very not forward. It's much more continuous while still being slightly directional. I'm going to spend a lot of time talking about this one in the review, so I won't belabor the point or spoil anything here. You're just definitely going to want to check it out. That covers the March releases. Once again, they drop on the 20th. Reviews will be coming soon for the two hammer balls, and of course, Brunswick brands have really upped their game when it comes to content, so you'll be able to see several reviews of all of these balls from several different channels. Thanks for watching, and may the strikes be with you.